This is the Auto Trail Expedition 66. As we move along, we will firstly open the driver's door and you will see the Lpg Gas Tank Gauge. This can only be viewed when the engine is running. You'll start off with a red light and then get a series of green lights indicating how much gas is in the underslung gas tank. Obviously, as it depletes, the green lights will go out. Next we have the two vents for the fridge. We do not need to do anything with them, just make sure that nothing is obstructing them. Then as we move along, we have the Fetford cassette toilet. To remove the cassette, lift up on the blue lever and pull towards you. Before use, undo the cap and add your toilet chemical with a small amount of water. This is also where the cassette empties from as well. Just remember that when you pour it away, that you hold this button in here that releases the vacuum inside. It's also advisable to lubricate this seal. Fetford do their own seal lubricant, but any silicone based lubricant is fine. This is also a nice easy way of giving the cassette a good clean. If any debris was to wrap itself around the float mechanism inside, we can gain access to the float just by turning this part here and removing. You'll know that something has attached itself around the float if it's always indicating that the cassette is full when it isn't. All of these cassettes now come on wheels with a pull-up handle. Directly underneath we have the flue for the space heater and the flue for the boiler. We do not need to do anything with these, just make sure that nothing is obstructing them. Next we have the two water drains. Blue one is to drain down the fresh water tank and the grey one is to drain down the grey water tank. As we move further along, we then come to the mains hookup point. Just remember that when removing the hookup lead to also push down on this blue lever here. If we now crouch behind the rear wheel, we can see the spare wheel just there. Where my finger is just here is the locator point for the wind down mechanism to get the spare wheel down. Underneath the passenger seat is the jack and wheel brace kit, and in there is a bar that goes into that hole. As we now come round to the rear, we'll see the fitted Fiamma bike rack. To use, just pull down, pop your bikes into the rails and then secure the straps through the wheels. And then we have the securing arms as well. Because this van has a bike rack fitted, this door can only be folded to this point here. So do refrain from pushing the button in here to allow it to fold right the way back. If you do this, the rails of the bike rack will dig into the side of the van and cause two rather large dents. As we now come round to the other side of the van, we have the Lpg fill point. So to pop gas into the van, you pop the nozzle over the top of this part here. The bezel is to take the continental adapters. The gas tank is located directly underneath the van, and it has an emergency cut-off valve. If I now just go underneath the van, you'll see just there is the front. What you need to do is pull the lever just here, which will then allow the front to come off, and then you can cut the gas off at this point here just by turning this brass knob clockwise. Beside the gas fill point, we have water into the van. Push in, twist, pop your hose pipe in to fill the tank up. The cap is lockable. Up the top here we have the Fiamma rollout canopy. Literally just hook in up here and then begin to wind the awning out. I'll just pause the video for 1 second and just wind the canopy out a little bit further. Now I've wound the canopy out a small distance. We then want to drop the legs to support it so we don't do any damage to the canopy itself. So it's just grab hold, slide, drop down, drop the leg, lock into place, and then do exactly the same with the other leg, and then you can wind the canopy out to its maximum or as far as you want to. These canopies come out about 2.5 meters. Next we have the diesel fill. Diesel cap unlocks on the ignition key, and AdBlue top up just underneath. It will notify you on the dashboard when your AdBlue needs topping up. Tyre pressures on the door pillar just here. As I stated earlier, jack and wheel brace sits all underneath the passenger seat. Vehicle battery just located in the floor here, and bonnet release just here.